Hello and welcome to another Slam Dunklers podcast. Joe Shea here, welcoming back John Blevins from his trip to Las Vegas and all that fancy stuff.
Thanks, man.
I was going to have John give a quick discussion of what happened in Vegas, but first we need to give some major props out to Buffalo's own Kai Burnett.
Yeah, good
this
job,
guy,
man.
He's a definition of a shitty right here. Goes to Vegas, goes 7-1 day one, needs the 6-0 draft, which was 2 drafts against top pro-level players to make the Pro Tour, and he does it without batting an eyelash.
Yeah, didn't even think twice about it.
Posting his results online like he's got time, to just do that, not focus on the game. That's just pro. I mean, he's not taunting people, which,
Actually, he most certainly is taunting people. Kai was one of my teammates for Providence, and we played against Conley Wood's team. And I don't know if I talked about this, but he's in the middle seat against Conley Woods, and he, like a fucking shitty, goes up and he's like, "Oh, hey, my name's Kai. What's your name?" Like acting like he didn't know who Conley Woods was. Conley Woods was in our hotel, 2 doors down.
Did you happen to challenge him to a salsa eating contest?
No, I would get destroyed. However, I was disappointed. One of the things I was disappointed in Vegas with was that we didn't see the ultimate showdown of the salsa eating contest. Conley versus Chum Lee from Pawn Stars. I wanted to see it. I don't know who I should put money on.
If that happens, John, we're all winners. So how was Vegas, man? Let me know what happened and your experiences and all that stuff.
Okay, so if you look at Vegas as just a trip, it was sweet. You can't really go to Vegas and not be happy with it. From the Magic perspective, complete fucking shit. So bad. So basically, Modern Masters as a sealed format is just unplayable. Wizards has said that they didn't test it for sealed. There's a reason that there's only one limited event with Modern Masters. There's a reason that they didn't put out sealed queues on Magic Online until people complained about it. It's because the sealed format is garbage.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine there's just way too many cards at common that you can get 4 or 5 lava spikes, you can get a bunch of rift bolts, things like that, and have a pretty good amount of burn. There's so many high-powered rares you're going to open. It just seems like you're throwing haymakers left and right.
It's not so much the commons, although I was walking around and I saw someone with 4 Blight speakers out, so that was pretty insane. But it's more like there are a very high number of bombs, and Ryan was talking about this, in a normal set, there might be a really good bomb, like Olivia or...
Oh, yeah. Garruk, Liliana,
yeah,
cards like that.
Well, Liliana's not even that much of a bomb. Liliana's just decent piece of removal, and Garruk is a bomb in the format, but isn't overwhelmingly awesome. When you're playing cards like the Kamigawa Dragons and Moloku and Una,
I mean, everyone's playing those though.
Swords and Elspeth, these are the best cards in the game, not just in the format, in the entire game. These are Slam first picks in cube draft.
These are Slam Dunkler picks in cube.
These people had sealed decks that you would not get in cube draft because you wouldn't get past these cards. I saw one of the guys next to me had 2 swords and an Elspeth out. What?
That's real.
Yeah, that was real life.
That's not modern for you, right there.
Yeah, that was real life. It was insane. So and my deck was not to be excluded from this.
You cracked those Auriok Salvagers, didn't you?
No, I wish. I did have an Auriok Salvager in my sideboard and an Arcbound Ravager, but my deck was garbage black-red creatures with a ton of removal, and I splashed for Trump the Domains and Moloku. And every game I had Moloku out, I won not close, and every game I didn't have it, it was either a struggle or I lost. So, and then the other thing is that, when we're looking at the format, we're okay, this is definitely built for drafting, so you're going to be able to draft these sweet archetypes, it's going to be awesome, but sealed is just going to be high-powered cards. However, when someone randomly gets all the synergies in their deck, like the Rebels, for instance, It's
Oh yeah, you can't beat that.
super good. My opponent, I dropped at X2, which goes to show you how much I wanted to play Magic that day. My opponent had 4 Rebel Searchers, 3 of the pacifisms, 3 Saltfield Recluses, and like just a bunch of other random rebels. Like I killed his 2 Rebel Searchers. He played another one, and then still got to search rebels every single turn for the entire game. It was like, okay, well, I can never beat that. Like,
welcome to Masks block.
Yeah,
I was standard back then, right?
Yeah, that
search up those Lin Civies.
Yeah, Lin Civvy was the one that searched up everything. But yeah, it was insane, this format, and like all the people I talked to were like, yeah, this is just not fun. It was no one in our group, even when we were X1 or X2, like before I even played a match, I was like, I don't want to be here. I just want to drop. It was like the format was that bad. Not to mention that there were 5,000 people in the room.
That's a lot of sweaty people.
Yeah, it was. Friday was
4 showers between all of them.
and I took 2 of them. Yeah, it was on Friday. Friday was the worst experience I've ever had in like any sort of like gaming facility whatsoever. It was 2 hours in line to register. So we get to the event site, and at this point. We got there at like 11 o'clock. The doors opened up. Allegedly they opened up at 9, but people were allegedly there at like 5:30 because there were still 100 people that could sign up that day that hadn't pre-reg. So I also heard stories about people, like the guy in like the 50th spot in line sold his spot for like $200 or something like insane. I don't know. It might have just been rumors, whatever. So Ryan and I get there at 11, and we're like, oh, we don't care about the playmat, whatever. That's long gone. We would have had to line up way early.
You missed that by like a day.
No, you couldn't get them on. You couldn't get them the day before.
Oh, really?
This was on Friday.
Okay.
So like whatever, we're gonna hit the classic Las Vegas breakfast buffet, enjoy our time, and then just stroll down, walk in. Play the mini masters and because you get a free mini masters for this. Like, we'll just do that, get our sleeves, whatever. Darren texts me while we're walking to the site, and he's like, "You guys through yet?" And I'm like, I don't understand what he's talking about. It's like 11 o'clock. I'm like, I didn't even know what he was saying. So we get to the site and we see the line at 11 o'clock, and I'm just like, what is
it was more of a mass than a line.
Yeah, it was insane. Yeah, no, that was the picture and video that I posted was the line inside.
Oh, wow.
There were it went all the way back lengthwise and then behind the Cashman Center again outside. So yeah. So 2-hour wait in line. While we're in line, the judges and people are walking by, and people are asking him like, "Do we need to be in this line?" He's like, "If you want to play tomorrow, you have to be in the line." So we're like, "Whatever." We had nothing better to do. We might as well just sit in line, get our mini masters.
How hot was it out there in that heat?
I think the lowest it got while we were there was 95. Jeez. It was right around 100. The entire time we were there, which I love the heat, but
no, see, I don't. I prefer to be inside and pale and pasty and
sure,
cold.
Yeah,
my heart.
I will snap take 100-degree weather over like shitty ass Buffalo snow. But so we're in the line. Judges are telling us this. Whatever. We get in. And then you see the picture that I posted, like a labyrinth of people just like curved around the convention center. It's like, whatever. We're going to keep going. We get through 2 hours in line. They make an announcement. They say, "Attention players, if you did not want the promo sleeves to play the mini masters or to get your All Is This promo, if you pre-registered, you're signed up tomorrow, you can go home." This is after 2 hours. I'm like, well, it's a good thing I want the mini masters. And Ryan's like, well, that was a waste of time because he didn't give a shit. So he just left. Darren and I are in line. We're going to do the mini masters. So we do this long labyrinth, 2 hours in line. We get to the end of the line, and the line just kind of like dissipates. And like, what? Where did this lead? So like was like kind of at the judges' table. So we go up to the judges' table. It's like, okay, and we're just like staring at them, and the guy's like, "Can I help you?" I'm like, "Yeah, we just waited in line." He's like, "For what?" I'm like, "You've got to be kidding me." I'm like, "For the Mini Masters." He's like, "Oh no, that's not here." I'm like, "Well, where is it?" He's like, "You see that big line back there?" I'm like, "Yes, I do. I just waded through it." He's like, "Oh no, that's supposed to lead over there." And I see another line where you're supposed to go sign up for the Mini Masters. I was like about to like burn something. So I go over, get the Mini Masters, whatever. So I get the Mini Masters, I sign up, I get my sleeves, I'm happy. I managed to scum another All's Us promo because I hid mine when she was giving them out, because they like went through the line and were giving people Mini Masters tickets and All's Us promos just to like get the line done. So I got that, and then I went up and like got another one. So I'm like, whatever. I don't feel bad at all. I should get like 5 more for waiting in this stupid line.
You did wait in 2 lines, so I mean, if you equate an All's Us promo for waiting in a line, you did get 2. So I mean,
yeah, exactly. So I go over, and then I get signed up for the Mini Masters. Now these Mini Masters are 64-person flights.
Okay.
And so they just have like a row of 64 seats, you know, like 3 or 4 tables together, and like they just like are like herding people, and it's like once it fills up, it's ready to fire, or so we think. Sat down at our seats with no pack for another hour. Then they finally start like passing out packs. We get the packs, like, okay, don't open these. The like judge goes all the way down to like the other end of the table, like yells out some instructions that like are not even close to audible. They come back over, yell out, okay, it's like you have 35, or you've got not 35, you got
6
5
minutes, whatever.
Yeah, you've got 6 or 10 minutes, whatever, to build your deck. Be ready then. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I open my pack. I've got a Bridge from Below, which is probably the worst card you can put in Mini Masters.
That sounds about right.
And yeah,
you'd probably swap that for a foil basic if you're playing Mini Masters.
Put another basic land in, and I got another like terrible card that I was running.
I mean, there's no way to get that in your yard unless you cast it for triple black, right? You have to cast it for triple black,
yeah,
and then find a way to blow it up, like, and then you might be able to get a dude out of it.
Yeah, maybe. So like completely terrible. I didn't even think about it. I just put it right in the sideboard. So, and I also cut I had like no blue cards, so I cut the 1-drop cantrip arcane thing. I don't know what it's called. So I had 13 spells, 17 lands, I had 13 spells, 17 lands, and my deck was pretty sick because I had Sen's Enlistment, which is insane in Mini Masters. Mm-hmm. The one that Retrace makes 2 guys.
Yes,
that's insane. I had an Imperiosaur. I had like a bunch of like good cards. My deck was pretty sweet. So we get our deck, and I'm like, okay, 5 or 10 minutes. I'm like, whatever. Another hour goes by, and then they post pairings. So far, since I've gotten to the site, from the time I got to the site to the time I'm actually sitting down and shuffling up cards to play against my opponent for Mini Masters, 4 hours. So that was already terrible. Now I play against my opponent, and I'm like beating him down. He gets a Sen's Enlistment, so this game's taking forever. I get him down. Like, I've got a bunch of guys out. He's just got some tokens to chump block. He he's been playing like he's been off of mana or something. Like he's been missing a color or something, even though he has all 5 colors the whole game. So I'm like, okay, he must be like missing double something. I'm like, well, I don't think too much of it. So he turn like, I don't even know, like really late in the game, he like is like tanking really hard. He's got 2 cards in his hand. I'm like, what the hell is he tanking on? Like, and he just like plays a land. I didn't see what it was. Just like windmill taps all of his lands and says, "Root Awakening, kill you." And I like look at I do the math, like the number of lands, like kills me for exacties. I'm like, whatever. I just want to get out of here. I'm like, good game. See you later. And Darren was watching me. He's like, yeah, you didn't have double green. I'm like, what? He's like, Yeah, he didn't have double green. And like as he's like getting up and walking away, he looks back and like kind of like scurries off. And I'm like, whatever, I don't care. If he wanted to cheat, then he cheated. And so like apparently I just got scummed out of a Modern Masters pack. I waited 4 hours for it. And it was just like the worst experience like you could imagine.
You were in fact terrible. Waiting for Godot right there.
Yeah, it was. Oh God, it was terrible. And that's not even the worst thing that happened all weekend. But I'll talk about that later.
Okay, I think we're going to give you a little break from that. That's kind of a very frustrating, grindy experience.
And that's just Friday.
Oh, I know. Yeah. We'll talk about some stuff going on in the Buffalo area, and then let you give us another story or two.
Yeah.
But yeah, while you were gone, we had a special guest, Big Daddy Sean Orange, and he announced there's going to be a huge tournament because he feels like we do, and he wants Buffalo to get a PTQ. So they're going to do $15 Theros sealed on, I believe, the release weekend, the Sunday. And they're going to do, insane food. Prizes are going to be pretty decent. Like, I mean, the prizes aren't insane, but, like, six packs for $15, there's the insane part right there.
Yeah. Plus, it's going to be, like, food catered, so, like...
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's pretty pumped for it. I think it'll go well.
Yeah.
I guess he said the max right now for the play area is like 144, 150, something in that area. So
and once it starts getting closer to it, I'm expecting that to fill up real quick. So like if you have a chance, I would pre-order it.
Yeah, I mean
pre-reg.
If you pre-reg and you can't make it or something, they'll give you your money back, whatever. But it's important to make sure you do pre-reg so you do get a spot in there because you'd hate to miss out on something like this because it's gonna be a pretty awesome tournament, biggest tournament in Buffalo. Excluding the Star City, but whatever.
It doesn't really count.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a Buffalo tournament. It'll be the biggest one we're going to have. It's going to be awesome. It should be really fun. I mean, I know a lot of people have talked about it, think it's an awesome idea, and they're looking forward to it. So hopefully, hopefully it goes well.
Is there any word on if he's going to be doing any sort of webcast or anything, or is it just going to be?
That's not something that's been discussed at this point. I think it'd be cool, but I mean, in all honesty, if for a deal like that, I don't think anyone's going to be watching. Everyone's going to be at the tournament.
Yeah, that's true.
But so hopefully check into Dave and Adams. Go go on their page, get registered for the tournament. It should be very fun. Great value. Should be a great time.
Yeah.
I also thought it was really cool of Sean to announce it on the podcast. He gives it some credibility. He thinks hey, this would be a pretty cool way to do it, and I guess he thinks that we're worth getting involved in this event, and I guess he sees us as a good I guess group of guys in the Buffalo community, and that's kind of awesome.
So what you're saying is that he's just wrong.
Probably. He's trying to. He just wanted to be the Willy Wonka graphic. That's pretty much all he was aiming for. And speaking of graphics, I do all the graphics, and I got a great one for today. I'm just dying to do it.
Oh, it's better than the last one.
It's better than the last one. I think. I wish I went with you to the Grand Prix. That would have made it a lot better. But I think this is going to be pretty awesome. I thought about it for 2 days. Not that I spend all my time thinking about images for the podcast, but
just 90%.
I mean, I got to eat every now and then and sleep. But a lot of it is on the graphics, and
it's really the most important part of the podcast.
It really is.
I don't even know if it's close.
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly not our personalities or magic insight.
No, not at all.
But something happened on Tuesday. I was playing at Planet Collectors doing Two-Headed Giant. Just for fun, whatever. It's not competitive. It's it's like the closest,
collectors.
It's the closest thing to casual you're gonna get without being at someone's kitchen table.
Yeah.
And I go. It's a way for me to hang out with people, just relax, play some fun Magic. I'm not worried about winning, whatever. Who cares? And I'm playing with Joe Steed. He's my partner this week. We cracked really good packs, which was a shock. God forbid we open a decent rare or two. But so we're 3-0. His deck's nuts. He's going turn 3 Basilica Guards, turn 4 Basilica Guards Extort, turn 5 Basilica Guards 2 Extort, then Kingpin's Pet 3 Extort. I mean, they're just insane. His pull. I mean, his stuff was guys playing Simic. It was cool. Whatever. I always wanted to play Simic in a sealed event, and it was pretty fun, pretty powerful stuff. But yeah, so we're 3-0. We're playing against the only three. It's us and another team are 3-0s. We're playing against them, and I end up my opening hand's like 3 lands, two with the guild mages, and like a couple shambles sharks, whatever, something small. But I'm pumped because I cracked 2 guild mages, haven't been able to play them like at all. I just haven't seen them in any of the other games.
Yeah.
And so I'm playing out my stuff. I'm stuck on 3 lands. It's like it's after a mulligan, I get 3 lands and 2 guild mages. It's snap keep.
Yeah.
I proceed to not draw another land all game, and it's like 10, 12 turns in. Just awful. And the whole time the other guys were just almost gloating at the fact that they're going to win and they're stomping us, and I can't hit land drops. They didn't talk about the land drops, but they just talking about just not very good.
Not sportsmanlike.
Not sportsmanlike at all. And it was kind of frustrating. And just almost, it just seemed like any chance they could say something, they would. And the problem was they were playing sloppy too. Like at one point they were casting a creature spell main phase, resolving a trigger, moving to attackers, and doing combat damage like all in the span of like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And it was just a mess, and trying to explain, I'm like, you guys got to slow down. This is a good way to learn how to play Magic.
Yeah. Especially at like a casual event.
Yeah, it's a casual event. On top of that too, the one guy I know and the other one I didn't. And the guy I know, he's done well at FNMs before, so there's really no excuse to just be all over the place.
Yeah, there's something to be said when you're at like a big like competitive REL event to like put your opponent on tilt.
Yeah.
Like that's like a gaming the game sort of thing, or a gaming the player, but not at frickin' casual 2-headed giant sealed.
Oh, I know.
On a Tuesday night. That is not the place to be an asshole and to put your opponent on tilt. It's like that's just that's just actually scummy.
Yeah, and and if it were like the guy I didn't know, whatever, he's new, whatever, he just maybe doesn't know what he's doing, or he's struggling with all the comments, whatever, that's fine. But like the guy, he knew what he was doing. Maybe he was just fumbling around because he wasn't really being careful or playing Magic the way you're supposed to play Magic. But it was frustrating, and they were just kind of gloating the whole time, and it was I kind of left in a bad mood. And so at the end of the game, they're like, they gave me the good game stuff, and like, I'm like, normally I'm fine, and I was probably just in a pissy mood, so I was like, it really wasn't a good game. It was really just luck. We couldn't beat luck, and then I'm stuck on 3 lands, can't do anything. My guild mage to activate and do anything cost 2. All the dudes in my hand cost 3. I was planning to do it every turn, but whatever. And then the guy has the balls to just say, Magic's a game of luck and skill. And like that kind of really pissed me off. Like, and then I was like, seriously? Like, Magic is a skill game, but unfortunately, in 2-headed giant you only play 1 game. So if you hit a position where you draw 15 non-lands in a row and you only got 2-3 lands in play, you just screwed to the whatever odds you were at.
Yeah.
And it was frustrating. It's like they seemed as though they thought I was in the wrong, which I thought was strange. And then, on top of that, someone else who was there was, was like defending them and things like that. And they're saying, yeah, Joe Shea's throwing a tantrum, and,
you probably were.
I was actually not throwing it, surprisingly, I was not throwing a tantrum or hissy fit. I just said, I explained to the guy, it's important to, not brag when you're winning and try to be, just, don't do things like that because it's unnecessary and it leaves a bad taste in people's mouth.
Yeah.
And one of them said, like, oh yeah, bragging's not awful, and it might make you want to get better. And like I almost lost it. Like I was like, what do you make me want to get better? Like, this isn't like it's a PTQ and I made bad decisions. It was 2-headed giant on a Tuesday, and I made every optimal play. Like, I'm sorry, like, go 4-0 at an event, the first time probably, and then, win some things, and then maybe you can tell me it might make me get better. Like, you don't know.
Yeah, no, especially, like, something like that, like, just as a general thing, if you win a match, don't make your opponent feel bad for losing. Losing is already makes them feel bad enough.
Oh, I know.
The last thing you want to do is like try to rub it in, and like there's a lot of debate on whether if you win you should extend the GG handshake.
That's fine. I mean
that's fine. I growing up playing sports,
that was my
basketball,
point. I made the case like if you've never played anything competitive before, you might not get it. Like you don't trash talk when you're winning. You don't do things like that. And I mean maybe they haven't done anything like really competitive in their lives, and that might help a little bit. But I mean as soon as you hit like 20 or something, there's got to be some common sensing that kicks in and say hey maybe I should, make this guy unhappy because he's losing. He got mana screwed in a casual 2-headed giant game on a Tuesday. Like, really?
Yeah, it's just the culture that, that's bred, I guess, to just make people just, like rub it in and like, I don't know.
Just
and I
thought
immature,
about it,
really.
And, like I thought of like the, I don't know if you were playing at Collectors when Kevin Duke was playing there, and, for a while he was a little, kind of flashy and things like that, and was little gloaty when he won, and I told him Prost the same thing. I was like, you really shouldn't be doing that. It was a bad image for you. It makes you look like kind of like a dick, and it really turns new players off, because if new players come and they just get taunted when they lose, like I can handle like I'm gonna be at F&M anyway. Like it's not gonna turn me away from Magic.
Yeah.
But like if it's your first event and you've got some kid just doing a win dance in your face, or bragging because he's beating you. That's a turnoff for a lot of new players.
Right, especially someone like Kevin Duke who's younger, and if he beats someone that's older and like makes fun of him, like that's just like there's already a natural like disparity there.
Yeah, and and I pulled Duke aside. I talked to him about it, and he was receptive. He apologized, and I was like, whatever, I'll live, and I gained a lot of respect for him because he learned from it, and he is younger, so
you gotta
I'm going to cut everyone slack, and I told the players there, I said, hey man, you really shouldn't be gloating this and that, and like whereas like Duke was like receptive of it, and he's like, yeah, I guess sorry, blah blah blah, I'll try to do this, help someone out, maybe boost his ability to deal with situations that are a little more complex and things like that, in terms of like whether say GG or whatever, you should err on the side of caution. But yeah, the guys were like, they were brutal, and then like the other people I didn't even really know were just like almost ragging on me, and I was like, like really, like, there is such a thing as being a good winner, and and I thought about it, and actually I ran into Ken Tober on Wednesday yesterday, and I thought about Tober, and I was like, Tober is actually he's a good winner.
Yeah,
he's never a dick to you when he wins, but he's an awful loser. When he loses, he generally feels like he should win, and the odds got him or whatever. And being a bad loser is not good, but it's a lot more understandable than being a bad winner.
You have like being a bad loser, you're just kind of you're doing what you naturally feel you should. Like you're going to feel bad for losing, so you might like vocalize that or something. That at least makes sense. When you're a bad winner, you're like going out of your way to be an asshole for no reason.
Yeah, and I had mentioned the same kind of general thought when you trade. Like if you trade, you make a good trade. You don't rub it in. You don't brag about it. Things like that. And the same thing applies to Magic. Shockingly enough. And it's important to be a good winner, and just be nice to the people you're playing with. There's no need to be kind of a bad winner and just make other people feel bad. Like there are ways where you can build yourself up without tearing others down.
Right. Right.
And I mean personally, like I said, the guy, I go home, slept on it, whatever. I figured ideally he would have sent like a Facebook message apologizing for whatever, things like that. Didn't. So it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Like I clearly don't want to travel with this guy to events. I don't want to talk to him, make him better. If I can make him better, whatever.
Do I know who this is?
I don't know. Maybe I'm not gonna name.
Okay,
names
don't name names now. You can tell me later. But
but if this guy ever comes up to me and says, hey, can I borrow some cards? I'm just gonna laugh in his face.
Yeah.
If he needs a ride somewhere or whatever, why am I gonna help him if he's, what I perceive to be a bad mark on the Buffalo community?
Yeah.
And I thought I was doing a pretty decent job in explaining, what you should be saying, what you should not be saying, and it's unnecessary to brag. You know, I mean, like if you're at a PTQ in some random area and you win, like you can celebrate without tearing the other guy down. You say, "Good game," you know. "Oh, I'm so pumped to be in the pro tour," or whatever, things like that. You can do it without like saying, "Oh, you suck. I just beat some I beat some shitty in this event." Like you don't have to do that. Like you can do it when you're talking to your friends or whatever. But like don't do it to their face because like I mean, the last thing you need to do is kick someone when they're down. And, I mean, that's hopefully the lesson they take from today, along with, if you're going to Vegas, don't stand in long lines.
Yeah. Oh God. This is, so the biggest, going back to Vegas.
Yes.
Biggest misplay I made over the entire weekend. I told this story to Darren, and he'll agree with me. The biggest misplay I made over the weekend had nothing to do with actually playing the game.
It was you were playing a game. Blevins.
I was playing a game, and it was suboptimal.
The most important game you'd be playing in Vegas.
Suboptimal game. So, round 4, I think.
I believe it was 4.
Wait, do you know what I'm talking about? Did I tell you this story already?
I'm pretty sure you did.
Okay, so round 4, I'm 3-0. I'm going in, and I'm playing against this girl. And I've seen her at a bunch of events. I'm pretty sure she's a judge.
Yeah, she's like a West Coast, I think from San Fran or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And she's pretty cute. And it's like whatever. This has nothing to do with the story, but this is a sub
a
point.
Sub-side note.
A sub-side note point to be made. Just in general, a lot of people. Namely, male players will just naturally underestimate female players.
Of course.
For no reason other than that they're female. And
same thing with young players.
Yeah, young players. Like,
I mean, that's
just completely disregarding the like inherent like sexism or whatever. Like whatever, that's fine. Just don't do that for the sake of your own game. When you underestimate people and think that they're going to make bad plays or that you think you're just going to automatically win, you're just putting yourself at a disadvantage.
You're always going to lose. It's why you always take the split. You always take the split because if you don't, you get punished. If you underestimate anyone, you are going to lose.
I learned that lesson a long, long time ago at Millennium when I was playing in a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. I guess I was only
lesson learned, don't play Yu-Gi-Oh.
I was only like 13, I think, but I lost to some like 9-year-old, just like completely destroyed because I was just completely outclassed. I like learned then just don't underestimate people. Okay, so back to the original story. So I'm going to try to condense this without getting into too much detail. So we're playing, and we're both kind of like apathetic towards this game. Like we're both XO, and we're like. We're kind of chatting it up, like just like casually talking, and she like mentions that she's like, I don't even know if I want to win this because I kind of just want to go to EDC, which is I don't even really know, like a house music or like electronic music festival going on at the same time in Vegas, like huge thing, like thousands and thousands, like there were more people at that than at the GP. I'm almost positive. Just like thousands and thousands of people there. It's like it was in like a suburb of Las Vegas somewhere. And she's like, yeah, I don't even know if I want to be in this tournament. It's just like we've waited so long, blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, I'm in the same boat. And and she's like, oh, you're going to EDC? Right then and there, misplay. I said, oh no, I just kind of want to go and not. I just don't want to play Magic anymore.
Oh my god, that's...
Should have said I was going. Didn't matter whether...
That's flipping Emmerich off a confidant there.
That's just like forgetting to... I don't even know. That's just like forgetting to...
forgetting to bring a deck to a tournament there.
That's just... I brought my Kaijudo deck to the GP by accident.
Somehow 3-0.
So, yeah, I had 3 buys, so I'm 3-0 in the GP. No.
Did you happen to tell her you were one of the Dunklers?
No, I didn't.
No, that was a mistake too.
No, that was the correct play. I need to salvage what happened. So like,
yeah, I'm a slam dunkler. Oh, what is that? Oh, I do non-magic stuff.
I do other things that aren't magic.
It's a non-magic podcast.
It does. So like that's not even, it's not even that bad. She's like,
That was a subtle invite to go to the event with her, man.
It was after that.
You could have both dropped, and oh my god, it would have been an amazing story right there.
She's talking about like how she's like, yeah, all my friends just like took their pools and left and already went. They left me here. Like I'm gonna have to like call a cab, whatever, and like me, stupid tournament grinder Blevins,
trying to get those 3 planeswalker points.
I'm like, yeah, I don't know why she's telling me this story. I just need to win right now. Dumbass! Stupid! So, like,
you know the best part, Blevins? The best part is that I know this story, and the next time I go to a big event, not judging because they won't accept me, and she's there, I'm going to go up and start talking to her and telling her this story. And how great it is, and then she'll just assume I'm a loser too, and then just disregard everything I say. Maybe call security on me. I don't know. I'll be wearing the Dr. Seuss hat, so that'll probably, help the crazy.
Pull out her rape whistle and and pepper spray and just destroy you.
What happened?
So, like, I end up winning, and she's like, "Yeah, I don't even know how I feel right now. Like, whatever." And she's like, drop an X1, and I'm like, all right, bye, yeah, have fun at EDC, just gone, just gone. And I'm like, I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, sweet, I'm 4-0. Wrong answer.
The one attractive woman at that Magic event.
Actually, there was a surprisingly large percentage of attractive women at this event, really? Mostly because I think people brought their girlfriends because it was Vegas.
Yeah.
But yeah, large number of attractive women. She's probably not just because she's one of the only female judges I've seen. She's probably the most attractive. She's definitely the most attractive judge I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, I've only seen 4 or 5 female judges, and the whole California style and things like that's kind of cool.
Yeah. There's this one cute girl judge. I think her last name's like Shay or something. I see her at a lot of. She usually doesn't get accepted though.
Yeah, I know she's a body on her, man.
Yeah, so that was my biggest misplay of the weekend. But
as an aside, if we're going to apply Blevins' mistake to a general thought. I'm assuming that everyone who listens is a guy because there's like 5 women in the Buffalo community and they probably hate us for some reason or another.
Sure, why wouldn't they?
Yeah, exactly. What
hate us, but yeah.
What have we done? But yeah, like it's important to don't treat women crappily because they're women and playing Magic, and don't like just assume like losing to a woman's a bad thing. There's good women players out there. There's a lot of shitty guy players out there. You're probably a bad player if you're listening to us. I mean, and on top of it too, another thing is like don't creep on the women. Except Kathy Boatman, you can do whatever the hell you want.
Absolutely. There's this great video of her arm wrestling. You should check it out.
We're gonna put that on the site.
Yeah.
This is why if you want to beat Kathy Boatman, you just play her at Magic, not at arm wrestling.
No, you will get crushed.
She
loses in that. She loses that match.
I don't know. She loses a lot of games of Magic too. Just kidding, Kathy.
Are you?
Please don't beat me up or arm wrestle me.
I would put so much money on her in the Shea Boatman fight. It's not funny.
Oh my god! I bet my collection on her.
Oh,
not
man.
be pretty.
It would not be pretty.
But yeah, overall, I guess Vegas. It seemed like the experience of going to Vegas for an event was awesome, but it seems like the logistics of having that many people at a tournament was a huge issue.
That many people at a tournament. I was talking to Blaine. He said they were like severely understaffed. Just like
I was talking to someone online who was a friend of the TO, and he said they expected like 2,500 is like a max. And I called him a moron. I said, if anyone who didn't think this event was going to have over 4,000 people is crazy. And I feel that if you're a TO and you underestimate by that much, you're not doing a very good job. Like, you need to be realistic. I mean, if some random shitty like me can guess, where you're at. I mean, I said around 4,400, and I was going to be a couple hundred off, whatever. I was
yeah.
But like, I mean, how do you not know this can be a huge event. It's the only Modern Masters Grand Prix, which, first off, you're getting a huge amount of value on it if you play because you're cracking the packs and it's cheap. It's in Vegas, so it's going to be an awesome experience.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like, just people are going to want to go just for a week vacation. Like, hey, if there's a Magic tournament on Saturday, cool. You know, I mean, because if you went, you crack your packs. You know, you're getting value there, and you just get a Vegas trip. You know, that you slashed $100 off or $200 off just because you went to the event.
Yeah, I was walking in and I heard people talking like one person who was clearly playing and the other who was just his friend was like, yeah, so what do I do when after I open my packs and I don't want to play? Like, there were like a lot of people that just went there to open packs.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure people brought their girlfriends just to open up a sealed pool.
Yeah, I mean the value is insane. If I went to trade, I would definitely just sign up, take my 6 packs. You know, hopefully I'll put some good shit drop, and if not, ship it to the great beyond, and hopefully get past something even better.
Yeah. It was the Grand Prix Vegas was the cheapest place to get Modern Masters booster packs.
Yep.
So like, I don't
7 for $60.
Yeah, I don't understand how people thought that where you would ever think it wouldn't be.
Oh yeah, I mean, like,
Grand Prix
if
ever.
you didn't think it was going to be the biggest Grand Prix ever, like, you're just a moron, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, like people are like, oh, it doesn't have the Gold Rush. I'm like, what do you mean it doesn't have the Gold Rush? You're opening 6 packs of Modern Masters. How much different is that than the SCG Gold Rush?
Yeah, like in a Gold Rush, I mean, there's maybe 15 cards of value. There's Force, there's Power, you know, like Time Vault, a couple things like that. But like, you have six chances of cracking a Goif.
Yeah.
And if you don't get a Goif, you're getting you get a Confine or something like that. You're getting value. Like, of 6 packs, the odds of getting, well, including the Mini Masters, 7 and a foil in each, the odds you get to crack a $15, $20 card are pretty high. Whereas, like, in the Gold Rush, how many guys open, like, unlimited Will of the Wisp worth $1?
Yeah.
You know, Dwarven mining team.
Yeah. I
got my mining team.
my pool, after I dropped, I sold my pool and got 30 cash.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty underwhelming pool, like, comparatively.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, on that note of the Grand Prix, there's a couple of Grand Prix coming up. Just gonna give people a heads up. Detroit is September 13th to 15th is Modern. Louisville, Kentucky, October 18th to 20th is Standard. DC, November 15th to 17th Legacy. And November 29th, December 1st is Thero Sealed in Toronto.
That one's sweet.
Yeah, like, I'd like to go to most of these and whatnot, so you know, I'll probably go into trade most likely. But just remember, guys, there's Grand Prix out there for these events, so if you are going, you should definitely hit up the Grand Prix, get yourself some buys. If you don't get the buys, just getting some Planeswalker points will help get you a buy or two there. And not only to go into Grand Prix trials, is gonna help the stores out. Running a lot of events, and I mean, I worked a Grand Prix trial at Collectors, and they had 8 players for Modern, and yeah, a lot of players were in Vegas, but at the same time, like, if people want to play Modern more often or Legacy or Sealed and things like that, they need to come out and support the events. To tell the store owners, you want to run this, you want to do this. Can we do Modern for this Grand Prix trial? Can we do Legacy for a random Wednesday event or things like that? And that's how you get these other events happening, because that's kind of key. People are cracking Modern Masters packs. Let's see some Modern decks come up in the area, and let's get Modern to be a format. Standard becoming a real really representative format, with FNMs and things like that. We got more people. Let's get some people into Modern and maybe some into Legacy if that's possible. And I know Legacy's got a huge entry, but like Modern's not so bad. You've got shocks. Even if you don't play with fetches and just build a deck and just maybe do a casual event here and there, it'll help just get more people playing. Yeah,
I mean, Dark Forest has their Moderns on Tuesdays, but they've been. It was at the beginning. It was pretty. Pretty solid, but then I stopped going because work and stuff, and people just can't deal with no Bloodlands. But and if you have a format that you want to play, I mean, be kind of realistic. I don't think anyone's going to want to run a Tribal Wars tournament or like Prismatic Singleton or something like that. But if you want to see Legacy tournaments, tell your shop owner that you want to do Legacy. I mean, Dark Forest right now does a Legacy every other Sunday. But the only reason they do it every other Sunday is because they're not sure if it's going to fire because people don't go. if you have the will to play Legacy, the force of will to play Legacy, then let the store owners know.
Yeah, on the 9 too, show up to events and maybe post in the group, just be like, hey, I'm trying to get into Legacy, or I want to play some Modern. What are your thoughts on this deck? Or does anyone want to get together and do it at FNM, in between rounds, bring a deck. We'll play a couple games just to get some practice and things like that. And that's how players can go to Modern events and do well. And things like that, because if you go to Modern and you're not playing Modern at all, you just handed a deck. Very few guys are able to just pick up a deck and
not too many people can Abramowski their way to a BTQ win.
But Abramowski's been playing forever, and he's a great player. That's one of those things. Like, you're not Scott, you're not Kai, you're not you're not Thorne, you're not Eric English.
You're probably me.
Probably, someone like Blevin, someone like me, who you pick up a deck, hopefully you get lucky, whatever. But if you want to go to these events, let people know. A lot of carpooling will be happening. Hotel share, things like that. It's good to get groups out because it's more fun when there's more people you know.
Oh yeah, the events. If you're afraid to go to a GP or something, grab a car with a couple buddies. Even if it's just one or two people. Most of these events, you're going to see me. Joe Shea, a bunch of the other regulars. If you're, not like close friends with us, A, there's nothing stopping you from being close friends with us.
Yes.
B, just you. If you have a car of people, it doesn't matter how many people are at the GP. You're going to have fun.
Yeah.
2-3 people is going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun for a GP. You can play side events. You play the main event. You get pumped for when people do good. If you scrub out, you play side events. You can draft in the hotel.
You get some cards signed. Just hang out.
You can get some cards signed by RK Post because I guarantee you he'll be there.
Yep. RK Post. We actually travel with RK Post to most events.
Oh man, he. I don't know if you know this story. We invited him
to dinner
and drinks. I told him that since he did my my mustache alters, that I would buy him a drink. I said first round's on me. No sir us. Oh, he didn't no sir us. He just stiffed us.
Because he said he had gotten a lot of commissions. He grabbed a quick dinner with the other artists at the first Grand Prix Pittsburgh. And actually, you know what he was doing? He was not getting any of that. He was putting a voodoo curse on me to be sick forever.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that's the case. And every time I see him now, I need to ask him why he put that curse on me.
Why?
And he'll think I'm a crazy person.
Yeah, you'll have to ask him to sign your have him sign your medical bills.
I need to go to RK Post for Mystic Healing. Sign my larynx. I'll stop coughing.
Yeah, please sign my larynx. I bet you he would. Wouldn't even be the weirdest thing he signed.
Nope. But big events are fun, and my first event, it was exciting, and I 4 guys that I knew going to the event, and that was cool. But I've gone to a lot of events where it was my first time, just meeting guys or first time traveling with them, and it's usually a cool experience. You get to meet people, you get to become decent friends with these guys, and it really helps. It's fun to know people outside of Magic.
Yeah.
And, it's fun to get to know them in Magic, too. So, going to big events is fun, and, there's always people looking for cars, and, I can vouch for a lot of people. If, hey, is traveling with him okay? Ask me, I'll probably know.
I'll also give you the lowdown. I'll tell you realistically, too. I don't sugarcoat it.
Yeah,
I try to save people as much hassle as possible. It's just people don't always listen.
Yeah, And like I said, if you're looking to travel to events, you really want to go with Joe and Blevins, and if that's something you want to do, you want to get the Dunkler experience. I don't know if that's a good thing, but we know how it's not a good thing. We know how to have fun at events.
It's true. The Shea Blevins cars, maybe dust in a little Blaine, toss in a Cummings car. I think those are some of the best trips you can have.
Oh yeah, I had a trip to Nashville with Stack and Eric and this and that.
I don't know. Can you beat the Dunklers and the Bong brothers? That might be the top tier car.
That was solid. The Bong brothers. There's a lot of Bong brothers, but we feel that Alex Stack and Big Ben and Big Ben they are the homeboys.
They're the Bong brothers.
Yeah, they're fun to travel with. I traveled with Stack to Providence, and it was pretty fun. I remember Yeah, on the Friday, we were trying to figure out our hotel, and yeah, it was like me and Stack just standing there. Stack's like holding like a pillow in a sleeping bag. I've got my Dr. Seuss hat and a laptop, and a book bag of cards, and a suitcase of cards, and like a bag, like a Topps bag full of bags of Doritos, and my snack to Power Snacks.
Yep.
It was kind of absurd. It was fun, but like I look back at some funny memories and all that fun stuff we've done. So
yeah. Half of the experience has nothing to do with Magic. It's just the stories that you get.
Yeah, and that's really fun.
And speaking of, I've got a little bit of a segue here.
A little bit.
So we were talking about meeting people outside of Magic and making friends at Magic tournaments. So new goal for us is to get in with the Channel Fireball squad because Cheon is a basketball player.
Okay.
And they apparently, I was watching a stream the other night, they apparently play basketball all the time at these tournaments.
Really?
So we need to get into those.
Oh, yeah.
I'll definitely, apparently Cheon's pretty good. I know Travis Wu is good too. So I need to get into these basketball.
I want to out-rebound David Ochoa. I'll go rob him. I'll be playing 90s basketball, throwing elbows and stuff.
So that led me to think of a new promotion event. That I don't know how we're going to do it, when we're going to do it, where we're going to do it, or if
we're going to do it though.
Possibly do it. We're going to do it.
It's a given.
Okay, maybe we can do it at the David Adams thing if it's nice out. Okay.
It'll be in September, I think, so it'll be a little rough.
Oh, in September? Oh, maybe not. It doesn't matter.
We don't know.
So I'm thinking what's a cool promotion? Because this is what originally got me thinking about it. At the GP, there was a GP Vegas. There was a table, and it was for TopDeckGames.com or something.
Yeah.
It was Top Deck something, and their thing was kind of unique. They had piles of cards, and you just windmill slam the top card, and based on what you get a prize. Just to promote it.
Okay. I'm
like, that's kind of cool, and they gave out stickers or something. So what would be cool for us? Thinking Dunkler, Dunkle, and the first thing that comes to everyone's mind is probably something like Dunk the Dunklers, have a dunk tank and throw. Yeah. But that's too level one for me. No, I don't want that.
Everyone sees it coming.
Everyone sees it coming. They're like, oh yeah, we get to dunk Blevins and Shea. Oh, cool. That was real original. Not.
We aim for better here. We're not scrubs.
It's not something you're going to see a lot of Magic people doing. It's not Dunk the Dunklers. It's Dunk on the Dunklers. So we're going to set up a hoop, maybe 7 or 8 feet. We're going to have regulation-sized basketball, and I'm going to be playing D in the paint, and you're going to have to try to dunk on me. I mean, maybe the details are a little different here, considering that most people probably can't dunk a regulation-sized basketball.
They can't get airborne.
And I think it might be too fun for me to just read Dikembe Mutombo everyone all day. But I think something along those lines involving basketball and dunking is going to maybe just a dunk contest, a Dunkler contest. And we'll be the judges.
There we go. I like that. Yeah. We'll be the Dunkler judges. I like that. That's pretty clever.
Yeah.
You have to dunk on a 6-foot net or something. It'd be great.
God, 6 feet. It can't be 6 feet. I'm taller than that.
Yeah. All right, we'll make it 7 or 8 feet. But we make it where a trampoline is brought in.
No, that's a liability. That's a liability at that point.
Yeah. We don't want a twisted ankle and a broken face, so that's fair.
I
like where you're going with this, though.
I just want to see people dunk and then just have me come in and just windmill slam, destroy, doing this sick dunks, just upclassing everyone, just yeah, that's really the whole point. I just want to dunk on a little rim.
There we go. I was actually thinking this was if I ever would have quit my job and started up my own business, it would be I would just recruit 13-year-olds and 14-year-olds, get a bunch of basketball players by age, and then allow people to, for a price, take their team of 5 guys and let them play against these young people at basketball.
Yeah.
Because, everyone always that thing, oh man, if I were playing basketball and in grammar school now, I would be owning, we're going to give you that chance maybe. That would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be pretty sweet.
My original thought was fighting against little kids, but that's too much of a liability. And I don't want to get my ass kicked by a 6-year-old, let alone Kathy Boatman. So, everyone's gunning for me this week.
Yeah.
trying to intimidate me.
And now some random chick from San Diego is going to want to kill you.
I wouldn't be the first time.
Wouldn't be the first time, and it won't. So it certainly.
I probably deserve it. And you know what? Like I said, I think it would be just awesome to just go up and be like, hey, you played against my friend in Vegas, and he mentioned that whatever, and I told him you were hitting on him and whatever, and I'll be like, hey, are you still single? And now
I'm going to get smacked in the face too. It's going to be awesome.
Oh yeah, two would be a 2 for 1.
Yeah.
She'll be slapping both of us while dunking, reverse one-handed on us.
She's going to be at the dunk contest, just windmill slamming. Through the legs, behind the back, Vince Carter-esque.
That's really all we want.
The Vinsanity, yes.
But yeah, that's upcoming Dunkler promotion apparently. But I was passing out the new Dunkler tokens that we made. I think they came out really well. I know you passed out some. I know you took them to the PTQ in Toronto.
Yeah.
And you got a comment on one of our videos from someone in Toronto, so that was really awesome.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. Shout out to
whoever it was. Yeah, we'll have to figure out who it is, give him some props, or him or her, whatever. But it's let your friends know about the podcast. We had some random people in Toronto listening. That's great. I know someone I talked to said he told someone in California about it, tell his friends and whatever.
That's
and I'll be up to 4 listeners, hopefully.
Ooh, I'm shooting for 4. Oh, okay. So, I was banking this. I forgot. So, those Dunkler tokens you made me.
Yes.
Almost got me a game loss.
Almost got you a game loss.
Almost got me a game loss because
they almost got there then.
Had him in my deck box. And I get deck checked. And I'm like, whatever. I'm not thinking anything.
Who was the judge deck checking you?
The judge deck checking me, believe it or not, was Canadian Cummings.
Canadian Cummings?
Yes. Perfect doppelganger. We found Canadian Cummings. So, let's back this up.
Oh, wait, I need to interrupt this. What we're going to do now is we're going to do the Hall of Dunklers lookalikes.
Oh,
so man. Anytime we see anytime this is our contest now. If you see someone at a Magic tournament or in real life who looks like someone from Buffalo who plays Magic, take a picture, send it to us, and it'll be great.
Derek's going to win. He found Fat Ryan. It was perfect. It's spot on.
Did he get a picture?
Oh my God, he got a picture.
Oh, we need to.
It's on Facebook.
It's on Facebook.
I think it's on Facebook.
Well, we're gonna track this down and put it on the website. Maybe start our Hall of Dunklers impersonators. But let's get back to the almost game loss situation.
Okay, so Canadian Cummings gives me a deck check. Who, by the way, walked with us to the event because we all went to the wrong. We all went to the wrong place because the Wizards website had the wrong address listed. So we walk with Canadian Cummings there. Round I don't know, 6 or 7. I think it was 7. We get deck checked, and I'm like, whatever. Get deck checked. Comes back and he's like, the decks are fine, but I'm gonna have to give you a warning. I'm like, for what? He's like, yeah, you see these tokens here? And I'm like, yeah, they're the Slam Dunklers tokens. He's
Did you give him one?
Yeah. I think he stole one.
It's a very Cummings thing to do.
Yeah. He goes, yeah.
That's an inside joke from one of our trips. So if you want inside jokes and be cool like us, not really. Make sure you go on some trips and hit it up.
Yeah. So he sees these. He goes, see these tokens? Pulls one out. He's like, yeah, they have basic lands behind them. So they're technically in your sideboard. So you technically have an 18-card sideboard. And I'm like, really? He's like, no, I'm not going to give you a game loss or anything. Just don't keep them in your deck or in your deck box. I'm like, goddamn Joe Shea. Not even in the same country as me and still trying to get game losses.
It's really all I do. I mean, we need to hand these to Vinny Shabetta. Have him explain his way out of it.
So if you have a Dunkler token, please replace the basic land behind it with a token or something that's not
or a tip card or whatever.
Yeah, anything that's not.
Yeah. Also, another thing is if you have the beat up sleeves or whatever, or like random tip cards from cracking packs or cracking boxes, if you want to throw them in a bag or something, give them to me. I could definitely use them for more tokens. Whatever. If you don't, that's also fine. I've got a bunch at home, but this is a way to prevent Blevins from getting game losses. If you like plebins. If not, I don't know. Plant some more tokens on them
Some
somewhere.
GTAs in there.
But yeah, we were talking about possibly discussing a deck and making it better, and we mentioned like 2 or 3 weeks. I don't think it's gonna happen. We got some sidetracked on some stories and advice and rants, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, and also we're not really deck builders.
Yeah.
I like me personally. I'm usually a take the best deck, kind of tweak it, or take a deck that's good in the meta game, maybe tweak it. But I've not really been that much of a deck builder. I'm getting a little bit more into it lately, just because I'm like, the more you understand about the format, the better it is, the more you can like deck build and stuff. But like, I usually don't delve that deep into it.
Yeah, but so I mean, instead of doing that, I'll give a couple just general tips, and I mean, you can throw a few in there. In general, if you're playing a deck, you want to have a strategy behind it. There's usually going to want to be like fast aggro, mid-range, control, combo, something like that. You kind of want all the cards to work towards that one goal. You don't want to have, way too many plans of attack. Like if you're playing like an infect deck in Modern, you're not going to want to be playing, value creatures like, 3/3s or 4/4s or whatever that don't have infect, or if you don't have any way to give them infect.
Or something like Dark Confidant.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be in a position where your cards are not synergizing. And, I mean, there were very few times it actually worked out well for me, and the one time was in Scars of Mirrodin and Mirrodin Besieged drafts. I used to play blue-black good cards. I just drafted every week. You just force it. And people would always be wondering, like, is that good? Like, you're not committed to one strategy. You get a guy to like 7 poison, and then your poison guys are gone because you don't have enough of them, and then you got to beat them down at regular damage. And I remember I had a discussion with Jeff Till about this. Till, one of the better players in the area, one of the best players in the area. And my thought about it was, I mean, it's limited, so all you need to do is just have the best cards, and you'll be okay. Because if you're drafting, inferior cards because they fit your strategy, you're losing out on overall power level.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one exception, and that was draft where infect was a thing and regular damage was a thing. So like if you're playing mill, you don't want to be playing like Angel of Serenities.
Right.
And that's I see a lot of players do that. Like they play, they play this. You'll play like red, like a red aggro, or like red green blitz or something, but they're playing Farseeks.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing that I'll talk about, just like a general thing, is about sideboarding. And I've talked to I've been doing kind of like I don't want to call it mentoring because it's not really mentoring, but I've been helping out one of the local guys, Mike Lapine. Shout-outs to Lapine for 3! Shout-outs to Mike Lapine.
Solid guy. I always like playing Mike, talking to him.
Yeah. Lapine's a great guy. But he has been asking me the last couple of weeks. I haven't been there, but over the past couple months, he's been asking me, can you help me with my deck? And I told him I'm not really a deck builder, but I'll see what I can do. And I gave him some suggestions, and I looked over it, just try to like optimize his deck, some of the stuff you just talked about. And I look at his sideboard, and I like the first thing I'll do with a sideboard when I see a new deck or I see someone with a deck, I'll be like, okay, what's this card for? What's this card for? What's this card for? And I think that's one of the most important things you can do when you're building a sideboard is, when do you bring this card in? What's it in for? What's it good against? What do you need it for? And so, like, for example, the card that Lapine liked so much for some reason was Glaring Spotlight. And that's the the one from Gatecrash that
makes dudes lose hexproof, and
basically,
you can sack it to make all your dudes unblockable for a turn.
I'm like, Mike, why you running this card? And he's like, oh, Geist of Saint Draft is such a problem, blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, first I told him that like that card's not even that good against Geist of Saint Draft anyway, because
what kind of deck is he playing?
He's playing a Naya deck, but like, I'm like, the card's not that good against Geist of Saint Draft anyway, because you need to have this card and a removal spell. If you have one or the other, they don't do anything against Geist, so it's like you have to kind of like 2-for-1 yourself almost. And I'm like, what are you cutting? He's like, oh, well, I cut this creature. And I'm like, well, now you're cutting creatures for, like, blank cards. It's, like, not good. The other thing, and more importantly, as a general rule, I was like, Mike, your deck is already insane against Geist of St. Draft. He's like, what, really? I'm like, you're running 4 Thragtusks and 4 Boros Reckoners and 4 Huntmasters. I'm like,
how does Geist get through?
What is Geist doing against you? He's like, well, it's such a good card. I'm like, yes,
Geist is amazing. Geist is an amazing
a great card, but you got to think about how these games are going to play out. You can't think about the cards in this like abstract vortex of like power level. Like, yeah, sure,
you're
Geist
good against
is a great
Geist.
card.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about it.
But your deck is like insane against Geist, and he's like, oh yeah. So I'm like, yeah. Now you like. I told him this. This is I think a good strategy for new players or even players who are just trying to think what they need in a sideboard. Play your deck at whatever event you do, F&M or I don't know, one-day events, whatever. And every time you lose, write down why you lost and the cards you lost to. And if after a week, couple weeks, couple tournaments or whatever, you see that you keep losing to the same cards. Figure out which cards are good against that. If you keep losing against Boros Reckoner, maybe you need to run more Abrupt Decays or ways to deal with it. Or, just like that, those sorts of things. Then you can start, hand picking your sideboard for the exact matchups that you need. And I think that's a really good way to get a solid sideboard.
Yeah, and actually, on your note of, what to take out, what to bring in, things like that, I've seen this in Legacy a lot more than you'd expect. Is people will have a sideboard that consists of 15 islands, and the reason for that is that with some decks, the 60 cards it's usually dredge decks or storm decks or things like that don't really have other cards they want. Like if you play Storm. I mean, I guess Storm's not always the best example. If you play Storm that doesn't have like a Burning Wish or a thing like that, you don't want to change your 60 cards because your 60 cards are optimized to do what you need to do. And as soon as you start taking out cards, like maybe you cut a Cabal Ritual, maybe you cut like a Thoughtseize or something, to bring in these hate cards, you've deterred so much from your original plan that your deck is running, suboptimally, and as a result, you're kind of getting punished.
Yeah.
And it's very important to realize that when you do sideboard, taking out the right cards is usually more important than making sure you have the right cards to bring in.
Yeah, over sideboarding is a
huge problem. I know I've lost some. When I was going to some bigger events, I've lost a couple huge games at big events because I sideboarded out cards I needed to deal so I could bring in stuff to deal with the problem cards he had, and he never drew his problem cards, and I just had dead cards in my hand all game.
Yeah.
And it was like a mold of 5. And it's hard to recover from that. And then I was playing Storm at the time, and like I got these Leyline of Sanctities in my hand to try to deal with his burn spells. And he decided to burn out and just brought in Geist of Saint trapped on other creatures. And if I had kept in my rituals and kept in my empty the warrens, things like that, I would have got there. But I had a Leyline in hand. I put it out. Turned out to be a dud. But then through my going through my library, draw spells, I had 2 more in my hand at the end. And if those were even just cantrips or things that I could cast, my Storm count would have been enough to grape shot them out. And it's important to make sure you don't over sideboard and you know why you're bringing cards and why you're taking cards out.
Yep.
I mean, I really, the way I build sideboard is I really pick the home run cards against certain decks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually not the best way to do it, but at the same time, I know I generally play the same deck forever. And, I've played like 4 actual decks in my life in Standard. And, I know what my deck is good against, I know what my deck's bad against. So I just have, for any deck I'm bad against game 1, I have 10 to 12 cards to bring in. And it's always huge to make sure, you try to get overlap between the powerful cards against the decks you can't beat.
Right.
I don't know, it's... I wish I had a better player here to talk about this who was really good at sideboarding and things like that. But I mean, that's the general advice we can give.
Yep.
I mean, and on that note though too, you're talking to Lapine, making him a better player and things like that. I mean, it's when I first started playing, I mean, I'm not the greatest player, but I think I'm good. I hold my own, things like that. When I first started playing, like I knew I wanted to be good, and I wanted to be a lot better than I was. And I started going to Mike Dio. I remember I played him at my first match at my first FNM. I played Dio, and that was rough. But I remember he was playing. I don't know, he was playing. This was like he was playing like Retrace, whatever. And I was playing like Rafik Band, and like right off the bat, like he was, I talked to him. I was like, hey, how can I make my deck better? And he helped me a lot. And I talked to Ken Tober a lot. What's wrong with my deck? Why am I not winning? What can I do to make this deck better? How can I play better? And just asking the good players makes you a better player. Yeah. And not only that too, it showed them that I took the game seriously, wanted to get better, and I think they respected me more, and they were willing to help me learn because I guess they felt like maybe that their time was going to be appreciated, and they weren't just helping some random guy who wasn't going to show up in FNM again or things like that. After that, like I'm kind of friendly with Tober. I don't know how you call it. I don't know if we're friends or whatever, but like, Dio, I liked hanging out with Dio, talking to him. Great guy, you get a friendship out of it. And on top of that too, he made me a good player. So that's always nice. And so if you're you're a newer player or you just want to get better, and even if you're just good and you want some help to maybe get another insight, ask people. I know John's always up for helping people, talking to people, and so am I. Yep. So don't be afraid to talk to us. Call and be like, hey, if I don't know you, well, introduce yourself, like, hey, I listen to your podcast, whatever, or just say, hey, like, I hear you're a decent player, or hey, you know how to play Storm well, or hey, you know how to do this well. Can you help me? Yes, of course. Yep. It's why we I like coming on and saying, hey, Kai won a Pro Tour invite because he came in the top 16 of he was X2 at the biggest Magic event ever. It's nice to know that he's doing so well and he's from Buffalo, and I like to make other players better. And I see a lot of talent and a lot of good players here that I'm pretty sure that I would be shocked if guys like the three guys that I think got a lot of talent who are really young are Danny Nice, Kevin Duke, and Brandon Z. Yeah. I'd be shocked if none of these guys, if they keep playing and none of them top 8 at PTQ or top 64 Grand Prix or top 64 stars, I'd be shocked. These guys, they're good players. They're constantly learning, constantly wanting to get better, and they've got talent. And if they stick with it, they're going to be very good players. And I would fully expect to see one or more at the Pro Tour.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're not one of those guys, and you want to get better, talk to players who are good. Talk to me, talk to John, or if you can't find us, find a good player.
Yeah, talk to us, and if you want to talk to someone actually good, find someone else.
yeah, have us point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have any more Vegas stories or experiences or things like that you'd like to mention?
I think most of the other things I don't want to say anything that's incriminating, so I'm not going to tell any more of my stories.
Gotcha. All right, that's fair. Any other topics you'd like to touch? Any upcoming things? Any thoughts that you got that you want to get into?
I know the GameCore Winamax is this weekend.
Yeah, they're giving out 4 Moxes, a collector's edition Sapphire, and some duels. And on top of that, first place gets entry in like an 8-man win a grand event they're having.
Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah, and I know the guys in Erie down there. I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of talent in Buffalo. And I went down to a GameCore event. It was like win foil Geist to St. Traps, and I ended up splitting like top 4. There's decent players down there, but I know a lot of guys in Buffalo who really, really would be favored if they do go. Mm-hmm. And I'm going. I think I'm going with Mitch, Bob Martin, and maybe Kai. So there's probably room in our car, and if not, grab another car. Come out to these events, stomp players, represent Buffalo, play Magic, and you just win. Like it's good. It's good to get out to new events, meet new people, and play in tournaments that we run Comp REL. It make you a better player. Play against good players for good prizes. Yeah.
Yep. And the GameCore events are some of the best ones out there.
Yeah, GameCore does a very good job. I know, they do a great job. They're no David Adams, but like David Adams has as Sean Orange, just doing what he can.
Just throwing out haymakers.
He really is. Like, I mean, I would be shocked. Actually, I wouldn't be shocked if I walked in and like Orange hit me with a box of Modern Match, just throws it at me. This is yours. You know, I could see him do something crazy like that, or just, you know, taking like 10 packs, throwing them up in the air, and having people scramble or something. I don't know. He really feels like the crazy Willy Wonka of like Magic giveaways, and that's why I thought that picture was just very relevant. Like, I remember just, like he's crazy. Like at the Grand Prix I went to, like he was just giving out like 30 door prizes or something. Like, is that a thing? You know, I mean, and you know, at the PTQ, the Game Car rant, like, you know, he's giving out, you know, tokens for the, you know, for the store. He was giving out Balls energy drink. You know, he was doing things like that. You know, like, the stores are really doing a great job in, you know, shout out to John from Game Core. He does a great job. I love going to his events, love working his events.
Yeah.
Store's great. You know, I mean, unfortunately, it's, you know, in Erie, which, you know, it's like an hour and a half from Buffalo, whatever. But, you know, it's definitely worth the drive. And
oh yeah, for sure.
You know, yeah, I mean, great store. So I'll give him major props for that. So, yeah, you know, if you're going, that's cool. If you're not, you know, make sure you, you know, check out the other events going on that aren't on FNMs if you can. You know, hit Modern, hit Legacy, you know, go to EDH night, whatever. You know, EDH it's definitely not my cup of tea, but, you know, if you like it, I know, you know, a couple stores are trying to run them, so, you know, hit up EDH. Just go, it's casual, whatever.
Yeah.
Grab a pop, some chips, and just hang out with some people, you know, talk about Magic, talk about whatever.
Yep.
You know. That's something you can do. You know, I gotta say, yeah, I know a lot of stores are doing EDH. EDH is trying to really catch on in Buffalo, which is great for everyone except me, because I hate EDH.
Yeah, but you can
personally.
You can trade all your EDH stuff though.
Yeah, I mean, on top of it, it's always. I mean, I've played a lot. You know, whenever I go and people got an extra deck, you know, I'll sit down and play with their deck because it's fun. It is pretty fun. I just like building the decks because I don't know the cards. I don't know what's good. You know, I can't. You know, I can play Time Twister in EDH, so I can lose playing Time Twister. That's really all I want.
Yeah, you just want a format where you can play Time Twister
and lose,
and still lose. Yeah,
still lose. But yeah. On that note, I think we touched some interesting topics, and you know, it was nice having you back, John. You know, it was a long week. I was just dying to podcast. You hear about your Vegas stories, things like that.
Yeah.
So you know, on that, I think you know, we're just going to give a couple quick shout outs to Kai Burnett again for doing so well at a big tournament.
Yeah.
Not unexpected.
16 out of 4,500, pretty good.
He actually came in 14th out of
4,500. Wow.
Even better. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty amazing. You know, I mean, it's nice to be able to give shout outs to Buffalo guys. So if you go to events and you win, you know, let us know. We'll give you some props.
Yeah.
I like telling other people how well everyone in Buffalo is doing. But yeah, on that, you know, guys, thanks for listening. You know, I love getting the comments. You know, coming to me like, "Oh, I love listening to your podcast. It's awesome. Listen to your podcast. It sucks. Whatever."
Yeah.
at least you're listening. I know you take the time. You know, you take the time to talk to me and berate me, whatever. So yeah, if you guys have any topics you want to talk, you know, have us talk about, you know, send us a message. Hit some on Facebook. You know, Facebook.com /the slam Dunklers. If you want to see the awesome pictures and the random links we'll be posting. You know, maybe Fat Ryan, Kathy Boatman arm wrestling. You know, check it out. You know, you know, like us. You know, tell your friends. You know, get the word out. You know, we like making people better. We like make people feel welcome and improving the Magic community. You know, if you're looking for some Moto streamers, John has you know, been doing his thing. He's kind of, you know, back in business again.
Yeah, so, I had a stream to. Was it today?
You did stream today for a bit, I think.
No, it was. No, yeah, it was today. Wow, tired. Yeah, it was today. I had it was a rough day back. I did a Modern Masters draft. I just didn't want to do. I won a game. I had no
no right to win.
No right to win. Oh, having no right to win a game reminds me. Pack roulette. If you guys saw the pack roulette video I did in Modern Masters, Lucas one-upped me. I am no longer in the lead for highest value pack rouletted card. Lucas pack rouletted at Dragon's Maze pack and hit
his voice.
Hit a voice. So that's the new standard, which is disappointing. And I'll hopefully be pack rouletting some more packs, but because people love to see that, and by that I mean it makes them cringe.
Yeah. So if you do want some streaming, check out John's channel. I believe it's
Twitch.tv/Fatwall33, FATTWALL33. I might be streaming tomorrow. I'm going to be... I don't know. I'm not sure when my streaming schedule is going to be, but I'll probably stream... I'll probably stream tomorrow. I don't know.
All right. On top of that, if you look into carpool to events, look to borrow cards, look to trade, whatever. Talk about Buffalo Magic or the Buffalo area Magic. Anyone, Erie, Rochester, Syracuse, Toronto, Kitchener, who cares, whatever. We started a Facebook group. It's if you search for it's the Greater Buffalo Area MTG Magic the Gathering players. We like to get a bunch of people in here. We don't kick anyone out. We're very inclusive. We just want everyone to be, together to foster community, get the word out on events, help the stores, help the players, things like that. Just make it a real community. We want to include all the guys, that aren't in Buffalo that, are, in the suburbs or, in Erie or whatever. We want everyone from the area to just be a nice network for each other, to help each other out when they can.
Yeah.
Go to events, things like that. So, if you can, join us. It's really, we just want to make everyone, have a better Magic experience. And, if you do that, great. If not, whatever. It's there for people if they want it. We want to be a resource for the Magic community. We want to make everyone better. And I really actually give a shout out to Sean Orange for joining us last week. It worked out really, really well that John was gone and Sean had his huge announcement, and I thought it was really cool that he did it on here. He kind of he thinks maybe we're with our listeners or whatever. I don't know how many guys we have listening to our podcast, but it's kind of a cool way to announce something, and I think he's given us some credit as being a source of good to the Magic community.
Yeah.
And Sean, I really appreciate that. This is really what we want. We want to make Buffalo Magic great. We want to make the community great because when we first started, community wasn't the greatest, but people have worked to make it good, and we want to make it better.
Yeah.
So we want to make it inclusive. We want to make everyone feel welcome and happy and enjoying Magic, and just again, it sounds all the term I always use at the end of the podcast. It sounds all kumbaya and stuff and hippie stuff, but
you
nice.
Are a hippie, so
I kind of am. I'm a hateful hippie, but I'm a hippie. It's nice to to make friends through Magic, to feel like part of a community, feel like you belong. Because I know people who've moved, and they use Magic to make new friends and help their social circles, and that's great. We want to be there for people when they need it. We want to have people there for us when we need them. Because that's really all we want. If we're friends through Magic, great. If we're friends outside of Magic, even better.
Yeah.
But that's whatever. Hit us up on whatever. Tell your friends. Blah blah blah. Check out John's stream. It's usually rather random. He plays some decent music until he takes he'll play. I remember I was kind of salty about this. I tuned in your podcast, your stream the one time, and you're playing it was like lightning crashes, and I'm like, oh, I love this song, and you turned it off immediately. And I was kind of bummed. I was like, man, I love that song, and you just like no surged me, and I couldn't believe it.
I got Dan Lamb to rage quit off of my stream because I started playing Metallica.
Doesn't he like Metallica?
No, he hates Metallica.
Are you serious? I would have bet money. I would have bet a lot of money. He just seems like a guy who likes Metallica.
No, he likes Megadeth and Dave Mustaine. I don't know. But my goal is to somehow get this podcast out to California so that girl will listen to the podcast, finds out about mostly just not you, and just me. No, but,
there you go.
Yeah.
And maybe just tells her friends that she got like these two random people in Buffalo talking about her. Gets a restraining order. That's all we want.
Yeah, I'd love to have my restraining order via podcast. That would be awesome.
That would be cool. If we do get a restraining order, we'll put it up on the site. It'd be great.
I will dunk it. I will dunk it through a basketball hoop.
Oh yeah, I like that idea. That's pretty sweet. But I
think we've had enough fake outros.
Yeah. Well, this is still one outro. It's a really long, extended one. But yeah, tell your friends. We're going to try to get the Facebook group to 100, 200 members as soon as we can. We want it to represent everyone and just be like a source for that. We want to get rid of the posting in 9 groups and whatever, blah, blah, blah. Try to get
if you're in a group, just join ours and just leave all the other ones. I deleted most of the groups that I started, but there's still a couple other groups that are just obsolete right now. Just join our group and just leave the other ones.
It's an actual outro right now. Guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for being back, John. I missed you. As lame as that sounds.
I missed you too, man.
you hit us up, whatever. Yeah, blah blah blah. John, I'll let you get the last word today.
Am I really going to get the last word, or am I going to get the last word?
I'm actually going to give you the last word, because I remember last time I gave you the last word, I jumped in at the end, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna bite my tongue.
All right, guys, thanks for listening. See you later.